I'm Todd at Tensa Outdoor. Going to show you some changes that we're rolling into our Tensa4 hammock stand suspension and line system. There's an old way and a new way. I'll show you both so you'll understand what you're looking at, and that's that. So these are two of the poles from the Tensa4 hammock stand with their end holes drilled. And these need to be connected so the stand has the right shape and integrity to hold your hammock. The original means of connecting these was a UCR, or utility constrictor ropes, in which the ridgeline and the end connector were integral, just one piece with a custom cut sort of planaria toggle here, and a cotter pin to help you push it through. I'll show you how that works here. So you've got your holes to help you push the thing through the holes. You have the cotter pin. You drive it through. That then leaves you this loop, and you've got the toggle there. So doing it through, and give it a little test tug. These are now firmly bound, and the ridgeline is ready. In the old scheme of things, you would then take your hammock suspension and loop it around one of the pole ends. If this loop wasn't big enough, you can always lark's head things like this to give you a bigger loop. I'll show you a free end that's better here. So if this is too small, just pass it through, and that's how things have worked. This works really well. Amsteel UCRs are strong and light, and the adjustment mechanism is elegant, but not always super intuitive to people. And having these made in quantity is like herding cats. Seeking an easier to produce and more familiar solution, we have changed things up. So Amsteel UCRs will no longer be the default way to connect your poles. The new default way introduces this thing. This is called the TiggzToggle. Notice its shape, has a slot in the middle, gives it two modes. This is the toggle mode, and this is the push pin mode. To connect the poles, you push pin it through both of the holes, and when you've got it out, then you change the orientation to toggle mode. These poles are now linked. You couldn't do that with webbing. You can now attach a carabiner and then attach familiar webbing to the carabiner. This could be the ridgeline, or it could be your hammock's adjustable suspension. If your hammock has an integral ridgeline, there's no need for a redundant stand ridgeline. The stand ridgeline is sort of a setup convenience that makes the stand stand up on its own before you have a hammock attached, but it doesn't really have a structural function if your hammock has a ridgeline of its own. So that's what you may receive if you order a Tensa4 stand now, is well, either of these, because we have both in the channel. But this TiggzToggle and ball arrangement with webbing and a carabiner will be the new default. Similarly, the previous generation of things had the head tether as a light duty bright yellow with some shock cord. We're replacing this with another quite standard length of webbing with a cinch buckle to adjust the length. So the webbing is a little less fussy when it gets dirty than Amsteel. It is a bit bulkier and heavier it is easier for us to produce in volume. We think we'll make both options, that is the UCR and the webbing schemes, available independently. Perhaps the UCRs will be available for a small surcharge. That's what you need to know. Bye.